Hi, in this short video, what I'm going to do is just run through how you would actually go about using our Bulk SMS tool if you wanted to message your patients. So there's a number of sort of configuration options that you can do with this. It's quite a powerful tool in that respect. First of all, you need to sort of define the template that you're going to use. Now, you can use a pre-existing template. So in my SMS templates video, I created this test template here. And so let's just choose that for example's sake. And you can see that it's pre-filled the SMS content area here with various sort of placeholders and so forth as part of the overall text. Now, if I did want to actually create my own templates sort of from the go, I could then just use these various placeholders here and, let's just put some random thing in here. So, patient preferred first name. This is a test SMS, for example. Not that you would really send that to your patient database, but that's useful for the purposes of what we're looking at here. And what will happen is that as the system goes through and gets ready to send the SMS, it will replace these placeholders. So, for example, it will use the preferred name field for this in this particular SMS. Now, the preferred name field, if you don't have a preferred name entered for the patient, it will then default to the first name field. So you can always use this preferred name field safe in the knowledge that even if you don't have one set, it will default to the first name field instead. And so that's how you would actually go about setting up the SMS message that you were going to send. You could either use a template, you could create your own, or you could use a template and then you could customize it further. It's up to you depending on what you want to do. Now, in terms of who you're going to send this SMS to, there's a number of options that you can use here. You can send it to all patients within your database. So if you have multiple practices, be aware that it will send the message to every patient within the database, even if they're archived, even if they're for a different practice, etc. So you can do that. You can use all unarchived patients within the database. So that will obviously screen for people who are archived, but it would still send to everybody in the database regardless of which practice they were associated with. Now, if you only have one practice, then that's not going to make any difference. But if you do have multiple practices, you may want to specify. Then there's all patients of this practice, all unarchived patients in this practice. And then you've got one here for patients with appointments booked on a certain date. So, for example, you can select a practitioner here, and you can use all practitioners and specific practitioners, and then you can use an appointment date. And so this one in particular is very useful for if you, say, had a practitioner that was sick on a given day and was unable to attend, and you needed to contact all the patients to say, look, we're not going to be able to see you today, you'll need to rebook or whatever. You can use this function within the Bulk SMS tool quite easily to allow you to do that. The other option, other two options, you can upload a CSV file, and so there's various sort of things that you need to make sure is included in that. Basically, the patient ID number has to be in the file, otherwise the system won't utilize it properly. And there's more details on that on our help page. And then last but not least, there is a memory function. So what I can do is I can go to the export page, and you can see here that there's exports on the side menu. I can then go to the patient export screen, and I can export patients using a wide variety of different criteria. So you can use, when they last attended. So if you only wanted patients between a certain time period, you can choose certain patients that joined the practice after a certain date or between two dates, etc. You can filter by address details. You can use tags within the system. You can use the practice that the patient is associated with, or that the patient may have seen during their time in the practice. And then you can, last but not least, include archived patients in this export as well. So I'm just going to leave this blank and just choose anybody that's been at any time to any practice. And I'm going to click this Save to Memory button here. And what it does is now it has saved the patient data within the memory. And I can now go back to this Bulk SMS tool, and you can see here that it's telling me that I have patient data which has been saved within memory. And the system is automatically going to do that. So let me choose the test template there to use here. And what I now do is I click Next. And you can see that it's giving me a list, showing me an example of what it would actually look like to send this SMS. Now, because I've got appointment placeholders in there, there's no appointment details associated with the Bulk SMS, obviously. So this wasn't the best template to use, probably from that point of view. But basically what it would do is go through and we'll insert those things here. And so basically you now are able to go ahead and send if you have sufficient SMS credit. Now, because I'm sending this message to so many people in the database, it's telling me it's going to cost approximately this amount to send to all the patients. And it's telling me I don't have enough SMS credit on my system at present. So what I can do is I can click this Add SMS Credit button. I can add more credit to this if I wanted. If I did have sufficient credit, then there would be a button for me to click, and then it would go ahead and it would send the SMSs to the patients. Now, if I have people who that fails for, if it doesn't work, what will happen on the diary screen? There will be a notification that will show up saying, it failed to send to certain patients because of wrong telephone numbers or whatever. But otherwise, assuming everything's good, then that will go ahead and it will send the details to the patients as you've requested there. So hopefully that's useful. If you have any questions or any difficulties, feel free to get in touch with us at support. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you on the next video.